In the heart of the dense, untamed forest of Niamundo, where the trees whispered secrets older than time itself, a legend was born. A legend feared, ignored, and spoken of only in hushed tones around flickering fires. It was said that on the night Kofi was born, the skies bled red, and the winds howled with an unnatural fury. His mother, Amina, a woman beloved by all, perished in the throes of childbirth. The villagers, blinded by grief and superstition, whispered that Kofi had claimed his own mother's life, that he was cursed, an evil seed of death. His father, twisted by the pain of losing his wife, turned his heart to stone. Together with his new wife, they abandoned the infant, still covered in the blood of his birth, deep in the forest, a place believed to be the dwelling of malevolent spirits. The villagers believed the forest would devour him, and with him, the curse that had befallen their land. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. Kofi, fragile and newborn, did not perish. The wolves found him, great, silver-furred beasts with eyes as wise as the stars. They carried him, not to his death, but to their den. They nurtured him with the ferocity and tenderness only a mother could give, teaching him to run with the wind, to listen to the earth, and to speak with the silent tongues of the wild. Years passed, and Kofi grew. The forest became his home, the creatures his kin, the trees his guardians. But he was no mere boy. The ancient spirits of the forest, the forgotten ones, saw him, marked him. He learned their ways, their herbs, their potions, their magic. By the time he was a man, he had become something more. A healer, a seer, a sorcerer feared by many, but never seen by those who had cast him away. Nyamundo, meanwhile, withered under a new threat. Foreign men with pale skin and cold, greedy eyes had come, their arrival heralded by the sound of crackling fire and the clang of iron. They sought to tear apart the land, to strip the earth of its gold, its ivory, its soul. They promised the villagers riches, but the villagers knew better. The men in their tall hats and stiff clothes spoke of prosperity, but their eyes gleamed with hunger. They took what they wanted, land, people, dignity, until there was little left. The villagers, desperate and broken, sought help from every corner. They turned to their gods, their ancestors, but their prayers were met with silence. As the white men advanced, the forest stood as their last defense, but no man dared enter the sacred wood, not after what had happened with Kofi. One night, under a moon so full it looked as though it would spill from the sky, a figure emerged from the forest. He was tall, with skin dark as the earth and eyes that gleamed like the moonlight on water. He walked with the grace of a predator, but his presence was commanding, like that of a king. It was Kofi. At first, the villagers did not recognize him. How could they? The boy they had left to die had become a man of legend, his body marked with the signs of the ancient spirits, his hands carrying the scent of 100 healing herbs. When they realized who he was, a great fear gripped them. They had abandoned him. They had cast him into the jaws of the wild. Surely he would exact his vengeance. But Kofi had not come for revenge. "I come for the village," he said, his voice deep and powerful, carrying with it the weight of the forest. "For the land my mother loved. For the people she cared for. The pale men will not take what belongs to us." With the strength of the wolves and the knowledge of the ancient ones, Kofi fought back the white invaders. He summoned storms with his voice, called upon the spirits of the earth, and wielded magic no one had seen for centuries. The forest itself rose to protect him, roots and vines trapping the pale men, wolves circling like shadows in the night. The ground swallowed their weapons, and the wind silenced their cries. They were driven away, never to return, leaving behind only the bones of their greed. The villagers, awestruck and ashamed, fell to their knees before Kofi. They wept, begging for his forgiveness, realizing the folly of their actions all those years ago. They had cast away a newborn child, accusing him of evil he did not possess, and in doing so, they had nearly destroyed themselves. Kofi, with the wisdom of the forest flowing through him, did not speak immediately. He looked at the faces of those who had condemned him to death, their eyes now pleading for mercy. "Forgiveness is a gift," he said finally, his voice soft but unyielding, "and I will give it. Not for you, but for the memory of my mother, Amina, who loved this village with all her heart. I am her son. I will honor her by protecting what she cherished." The villagers crowned him their king, not out of fear, but out of reverence. He ruled with wisdom and power, guiding Niamundo to an era of prosperity and peace. Under his reign, the village flourished, its connection to the land and the ancient spirits deepened. But even as he ruled, Kofi never forgot the forest. On nights when the moon hung low and the wind whispered through the trees, he would walk among the wolves, a king of two worlds, bound by blood and fate to the earth beneath his feet and the sky above. And so, the legend of Kofi, the Wolf King of Nyamundo, lived on, forever etched in the hearts of those who once feared him and in the land that had saved him.